night. I thought sleep would bring me peace, but instead, it brought me face to face with something I can't explain. I still remember the way the air shifted, the way my skin burned under an unseen touch, and the reflection I swore I saw in the mirror before everything changed. I had gone to bed later than usual that night, my body heavy from exhaustion, but my mind restless. The faint glow from the street lamp seeped through the curtains, painting thin lines of light across my room. I curled onto my side, the blanket tangled loosely around my legs, hoping sleep would finally take me. But before my eyes even closed, I felt it, that strange awareness, the subtle shift in the air that told me I wasn't alone. At first, I tried to ignore it. Houses creak, the wind whistles, and shadows can play cruel tricks on tired eyes. But the more I focused on steadying my breath, the heavier the air became. My skin prickled, a shiver spreading across my arms as though invisible fingers had brushed me. I told myself it was my imagination, and then I saw it. In the mirror across from my bed, a faint movement, a shape, darker than the rest of the room. My chest tightened. I turned my face toward the wall, refusing to look again, but that only made the awareness stronger. My legs stiffened, the weight of the blanket suddenly too much. Then, without warning, the mattress dipped near my hip. My heart skipped. I hadn't moved. No one else should have been here. And I felt the shift, slow and deliberate, as if someone had sat down beside me. My breath caught in my throat when I felt it, the lightest touch at the back of my thigh. Not cold this time, but warm, like skin against skin. The contact lingered, tracing upward, and I knew with every nerve in my body that this wasn't a dream. My fingers gripped the sheets tightly, but I couldn't pull away. My body was frozen, caught between terror and something I didn't want to name. The presence leaned closer. I couldn't see it, but I could feel it. The faint brush of hair against my shoulder, the weight of a breath gliding across the back of my neck. My chest rose and fell too quickly, betraying my fear. Or was it something else? The warmth of that unseen touch sent a rush through me that I hated to admit. I squeezed my eyes shut, praying it would stop, but instead the touch grew bolder. Fingers, light as feathers, skimmed over my hip, tracing the line of my body as if memorizing me. My lips parted, a shaky breath escaping before I could hold it in. And in the silence, I heard it, the faintest sound, a low hum, almost pleased. In that moment, I realized I was no longer fighting sleep. I was fighting the presence itself, and the way my body seemed to betray me under its touch. The warmth on my skin didn't fade. Instead, it spread, slow, steady, deliberate, like someone was drawing invisible lines across me. I wanted to scream, to move, to fight, but my body refused. My chest rose and fell with shallow breaths, each one pulling in more of that strange scent in the air. Earthy, sweet, intoxicating. The kind of smell that makes you dizzy, that settles deep inside your lungs and refuses to let go. Then the fingers shifted. They brushed up from my hip to my waist, curling slightly as if testing how much of me they could claim. My heart hammered so loud that I was sure it could hear it. Maybe that was the point. Every touch felt slower, more intentional, almost like it was savoring my reaction. The mattress dipped again, firmer this time, a weight pressed closer until I could feel warmth at my back, not solid, not fully there, but enough. The air between us charged, heavy with something I didn't understand. My lips trembled as another breath swept across the side of my face, close enough to make the fine hairs on my neck stand on end. And then a sound, a whisper, not words, not anything I could understand, but low, intimate, like a secret breathed against my ear. My body stiffened. I tried to tell myself it was the wind, the hum of the house, anything but what it felt like. But I knew, deep down, I knew. My hair shifted, lifted slightly as if caught in unseen fingers. Slowly, carefully, they brushed it aside, baring my neck to the cool air. My pulse quickened. A warmth hovered there, not quite touching, just lingering, teasing. The anticipation was unbearable. My breath hitched, and in that instant it finally made contact. A feather-like graze, the faintest touch, like lips brushing against my skin without fully pressing down. I shivered violently, my body betraying me again. I should have pulled away, should have screamed. Instead, I tilted slightly toward it. My mind screamed in protest, but my body wanted more. The presence seemed to know. Its fingers returned, sliding gently down the curve of my side, tracing me with unhurried precision. The touch paused at my thigh again, just above the blanket, as if waiting for my permission. My fists clenched tighter around the sheets, but no words came. I didn't say no. I didn't move. I only lay there trembling as the invisible hand drifted higher. Then, the mattress shifted near my legs. Something, knees? Pressed into the bed, sinking the fabric down in two clear spots. My eyes shot open, but there was nothing to see. Only the indentation, the proof that something unseen was with me. My breath stuttered, my heart threatening to break through my ribs. The whisper came again, closer, clearer, a tone both possessive and soothing. I couldn't make out the language, but the meaning was undeniable. I was theirs. The weight leaned nearer, chest against my back now, heat bleeding into me through the thin barrier of fabric. My throat tightened, my body shook, and then I felt it inhale, long and deep, right against my hair, as though drinking me in. I bit down hard on my lip, my body burning from a cocktail of fear and something darker, something I couldn't admit to myself, and that was when I realized. This was only the beginning. I lay frozen, every inch of me aware of its nearness. The heat against my back was undeniable now, pressing in closer with each passing breath. My heart pounded so hard it echoed in my ears, drowning out everything else, until I heard it, a low sound, almost like a sigh, vibrating just behind me. The fingers moved again, tracing up my arm with slow precision, pausing at my shoulder as though deciding whether to continue. My skin burned beneath the contact, but I didn't pull away. I couldn't. Instead, I waited, trembling, for whatever would happen next. Then, my leg shifted, not by me. The weight pressed down at my thigh, opening me further, arranging me as though I were nothing more than a doll. Panic shot through me, but it was tangled with something else, a heat that grew stronger the more I fought it. My lips parted, a shallow gasp escaping before I could stop it. The presence inhaled again, right against my neck this time. Warmth fanned across my skin, lingering long enough to make me shiver. I felt it hover there, so close that if I moved even an inch, our lips would meet. My pulse roared, my body caught between fear and a dangerous pull I couldn't deny. And then, just as suddenly as it began, the weight vanished. The mattress lifted. The air grew colder. My body sagged back into the bed, released from whatever had held it. For a moment, I thought it was over. But then I saw it. At the foot of my bed, the blanket sank again. Two deep impressions, the shape of knees pressing into the fabric. My stomach dropped. My breath hitched. They didn't fade. They stayed, deliberate, as if to remind me I wasn't alone. I couldn't scream. I couldn't run. I could only watch as the indentations slowly, carefully disappeared, not like they had never been there, but like something had simply stepped back into the shadows, waiting. Silence swallowed the room. The scent lingered, earthy and sweet, clinging to the air like a mark of possession. Even when the blanket smoothed itself, even when I tried to convince myself I was safe, I knew better. Because once you've been touched in the dark, once you've felt a presence claim you without ever showing its face, sleep never feels the same again. Have you ever felt something, or someone, touch you when no one was there? Share your story in the comments below. Subscribe to Paranormal Sleep for more chilling midnight encounters, because the next story could be yours.